Dana White's Contender Series has been hit or miss for talent, but several fighters have gone on to do great things. Some have even become champion in the UFC. So, let's take a look at the standout talents from 2017's first season of Dana White's Contender Series, back when it was called Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Now, after 6 years, who are the standout fighters that came out of the show? First, Anthony Hernandez. You may remember him for his insane surprise submission of BJJ legend Rodolfo Vieira. He has a record of 11-2 with wins over Rodolfo Vieira, as I mentioned, a legend in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a win over current top 20 middleweight Brendan Allen, and most recently, fellow DWCS standout Edmund Shabazian. He is ranked on the edge of the top 20, but that is a huge turn from the regional fighter on the first season. Our next fighter from Dana White's Contender Series that turned into an elite talent is Matt Frivola. He won his first fight on the Contender Series with an arm triangle and got the contract. He lost his follow-up fight, then won another over Jalen Turner and Luis Pena. Then he went on a skid against two hot prospects at lightweight in Armand Tsarukyan and Terrence McKinney. Since then, he's been on a tear. Most recently with a KO over Drew Dober, pushing him to number 14 in the lightweight division. Potentially, he will soon be a top 10 talent coming up. Another elite lightweight talent that came out of season 1 is Grant Dawson. The grappling standout won by submission on the show and has gone on to win nearly half of all of his fights by submission. He hasn't lost any fight since getting to the UFC either. While he has one loss, it was way back in 2016. And lightweight is arguably the UFC's toughest division, so he, just like Matt Frivola, will continue to face a murderer's row of talent at lightweight. His competition hasn't been as fierce as Frivola's until recently, but it started to heat up as he entered the top 20. We could even see Frivola and Dawson fight one day soon. Now, we move up a weight class here for our next addition to the list, a welterweight fighter who is on the cusp of contending for a title. Their name? Geoff Neal. While he may recently have lost to Kazakhstani monster Shavkat Rakhmonov, he has shown to be an elite welterweight and very well could be contending for the title quite soon. In a fun pre-UFC fun fact, Kevin Holland fought and defeated Neal both before either had made it to the UFC. Neal won his fight on the Contender Series and went on a decent streak with wins over Bilal Muhammad and Mike Perry before losing to Wonderboy and Neil Magny. After that, he grabbed 2 wins over Santiago Ponzinibbio and Vicente Luque in what was a very scary KO. Then he went on to have a war in what was a Fight of the Year contender this year with Rakhmonov, which is not a shameful loss in any way. That man is simply built different. Neal is currently ranked 8, so his next fight could do a lot for him in moving up the rankings and moving him up on this list. Lastly, but definitely not least, is the current bantamweight champion, Sugar Sean O'Malley. The standout curly-headed star from season 1 would KO his opponent in the first round of the Contender Series, going on a massive streak, finishing almost every opponent until he met Chito Vera. From that loss, O'Malley would continue stacking up wins against Thomas Almeida and Peter Yan. He even had a no contest against Pedro Munoz due to an eye poke in the cage. After a few more wins, he received the long-awaited title shot against Aljamain Sterling. And we all know that he landed that huge bomb on Sterling and finished him on the ground, leading him to be the top of this list. O'Malley's record is immensely impressive. At 17-1-1, in one of the toughest divisions with a lot of finishes where it's notoriously hard to finish elite talent, he is undeniably the biggest star and best fighter as of now to come out of season 1 and seems to be looking to avenge his loss against Chito Vera, who recently won himself. When it's all said and done, will Sean O'Malley end up being the most accomplished fighter to have come out of season 1 of Dana White's Contender Series? Or will one of the other talented fighters rise up and dominate a weight class, taking that title from him? If you like this, let us know. If you'd like to see this on other seasons of Dana White's Contender Series, also let us know.